So guys, here you can see this is a 10-inch multimedia center, which is essentially this one. It's not fully installed yet. As you can see, I can just remove it. This is the single DIN or 1 DIN adapter plate, the fascia, that goes on like that, which neatly rounds everything off for this to slide then in. I'll put a link in the description where you can find this particular item. You can see it's supported by Android, connects to your phone, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, maps. It's a HD system, so it's 1080 pixels, and you can watch normal cable on it.
Yeah, so what I'm doing is, this is just my IntelliProbe, which basically you can't use a test light on these cars, you've got to use an IntelliProbe.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so that is the first step. And then obviously, to get power in this radio, we need a straight live, and then we need a accessory live or ignition live.
Okay.
So what I want you to do, just switch this ignition off.
Ignition is off.
That is the adapter which comes out of the original BMW radio, and that is obviously the air adapter. So basically what we're doing is we're going to get this adapter, plugs in like that. These wires don't always match because this is a universal European plug, but you won't get all the wires to work on all the wires that are on this car. So we're basically just using this as a guide, and obviously we're basically going to be looking for power now. So this belongs to some other radio, but we're not using it. We're just basically cutting everything off, because all we want to do is use the power source. The power source, yeah. So basically we've got a probe, and we're just testing. Obviously that beep with the red light, that means it's a straight line. Okay, so this is now the new aftermarket radio we're putting, which is basically the battery wire. Okay, so that's the battery wire.
Okay.
Okay, and that's also, that needs to get a permanent supply as well. So let's just connect that up. Okay, then obviously we need a ground there as well, so we just basically cut that off as well.
Okay, that's the ground.
That's the ground cable. Also test it. See, we get a green light in now, indicating that that is the ground.
So, okay, so green light means ground, red light means straight live.
There we go, straight live.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. So as a safety point of view, these radios are designed, if you want to watch a video while in the car, the handbrake needs to be up, because it needs to simulate that you're not driving the car. So the radio comes with a handbrake trigger wire.
This one doesn't have a handbrake cable, so you would connect the handbrake cable to the neutral wire to simulate that it is grounding out and that your handbrake is up in the upright position.
Accessory. Oh, this is with the amp control. So I'm assuming by that.
Amp control, meaning what does amp control mean?
That is to switch on the amplifier, the BMW's amplifier.
Okay.
Now, majority of BMW, on most of them, it's a plain white wire on that side, which is the amplifier control. Okay. Now that is obviously the amplifier, which is the Bose amplifier that's powering up. So we're basically gonna give it power now to switch the amplifier on. So hopefully.
Then we don't have to run bypass lines.
We don't have to run bypass lines.
Okay.
So hopefully that is going to.
If it works.
Yeah. So either antenna or amplifier, but it's 99.9% time it's a blue wire.
Okay, antenna.
Yeah, so it's either antenna or auto antenna or amplifier. So all this is doing is basic, when you switch the radio on, it gives a 12-volt signal on this wire.
To the amp.
And it switches the amplifier on.
Perfect.
That's all it does. So when the radio is off, the amp is off.
Okay.
And vice versa. Okay, so from then on, now we need to see whether we've got an accessory on this loom or whether we've got to look for an ignition source, because that screen needs an ignition source, otherwise it's going to child the battery.
Okay.
Okay, so just put ignition on.
Okay, just give me 1 sec.
No, it's green. Okay. Ignition back on, it comes alive.
Perfect.
Okay. So that is our accessory. So obviously on this loom there's nothing there. Okay. Because 99.9% time this wire is not here normally in most cars.
Okay. The ignition.
You've got to run it here. It's just that in this BMW it's here, but most cars it's not there. So all I'm going to do is, instead of there's no wires, I'm just going to splice into the wire.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, okay, so all we're doing is basically just splicing this wire into here. And this is our ignition sense. Now we're looking for the accessory wire, which is the yellow straight line wire. This is what's keeping the radio's memory on.
The radio's memory on.
Yeah.
Okay.
That your stations, your preset stations.
Okay.
And then you've got the accessory, which is the switch to switch the radio on.
To power the full function.
Power the full function of the radio.
Okay. And that goes with the ignition.
And that goes to the ignition, yeah. So
Okay.
only when the ignition's on, it will power the radio.
It's called an accessory switch.
Accessory switch, yeah.
Okay.
Most cars have accessory, most cars have full on ignition.
Okay.
Which means that ignition live. So when the dash lights are on, means that the ignition is live, the coil is on, everything is live.
Yeah.
And then you get some cars which have an accessory, so the first click is live only for the radio or for an accessory.
Like this one.
And then the next click is live for the car.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think this one has got
yeah, mine works the same like that.
Okay, so
So you don't need to have the car running
yeah, to have
while
the
your radio,
playing.
yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
I've got
so
that.
obviously that. Okay, so basically now we've got this is the speaker wires.
Okay.
Okay, this is the high input speaker wires that's going to your amplifier. So we're holding thumbs that this is going to work this way. Okay, I'm 90% sure it's going to work this way. If we power the radio, we're not going to get sound. Then we're going to have to do the whole amp bypass. I'm going to show you is the white would be your left front.
Okay.
Okay. The gray would be your right front.
Yeah.
Okay, which is the two channels that we're going to be using.
Okay.
And if the vehicle had rear speakers coming directly from the deck, okay, which no, but on this particular job, you see there's no rear speaker wires. Basically, this is our signal in. So we've got a left and a right signal in, should I say.
Okay.
And then the amplifier replicates the front, left, right, sub.
Okay, awesome. So he splits everything
Yeah,
up.
he splits. Okay, so we've got our purple, which is the right rear, and our green, which is the left rear. But on this particular installation, you can see it's blank. There's nothing there.
Okay.
Okay, so which means we're not using it. We are, however, using the white, which is the left, and the grey, which is the right. Okay, and then we would basically just match that on our plug. So we're looking for the white wires. It's a standard industry thing. So these are the standard industry wire code.
Right.
International.
Okay.
So you'll see the white there, it says front left.
Let me just, there's all that still. That's it.
Okay, obviously the one with the stripe is front left negative.
That
Yeah,
what?
no, it's the negative part of the speaker.
Oh,
and
okay.
the straight white is the positive side of the speaker.
Okay, alright.
Okay, so we're going to connect the left one up first. So basically, because we have a converter, everything is already color matched for us. So there's no, we don't have to test any of these wires.
Yes.
Because we know with the converter, we know that black, that white or the black is the same.
Goes on to the white to the
white
black.
to the black. And then that is the positive one. Okay, take that up.
Find it.
Alright, and now obviously we've done our left front, and now we're looking for the grey wire again, which is going to be our front. Okay, same thing. We've got plain grey, which is our speaker positive, and we've got grey with
stripe grey,
black stripe, which is our speaker negative. Okay, so front positive,
okay,
front negative. Okay, and then again, once again, we've got the same grey and grey with stripe. Okay, so that should be it for our installation on this tape.
That's simple.
It's simple, yeah. We get 3 wires. We get a live wire, a ground wire, an accessory wire, and we've got our speaker wire. The other wires that they do give on the tape is what's left over is a back, which basically would be a rear view camera trigger wire.
The reverse, yeah.
Okay. We have an illumination wire, which you might, I'm not sure if I can pick up illumination.
What is illumination wire?
It basically would just, on certain radios where they've got the display is bright during the daytime and you have illumination wire, so when you switch on the car's lights at night, it dims the screen for you.
Okay.
So it's not easy way to do is we just take our probe now and
ignition's off now.
Ignition is off. Okay. And we're basically going to test for it now. It might not have it.
That'll be super cool if it has it.
If it has, yeah. Okay, so switch on the headlights. Yeah, just the first click. Okay.
First click.
Yeah. It's got it. Switch it off. Okay, there we go. It has got it.
Oh, that is so
okay,
sick.
So,
okay, so just do that for me again.
I'm going to test it again. So basically, we need to test.
Which one would that be?
Okay, so we don't know. So all I'm doing on every pin, I'm going on every pin and figuring out. Okay, so put it on. Just turning red, so that means there is a trigger. Now the lights are coming on and the lights going red. Positive trigger that we need on that
for
line.
the illumination wire.
For the illumination, because basically this feeds a positive signal onto this wire and then it tells the screen to dim.
Okay.
Okay, so once again, our harness adapter doesn't have the illumination wire.
Okay. So we bridge it straight.
So basically we're just going to do what we did with the ignition wire. So we're going to splice it open. Okay. Connect it directly. We basically just, we're not cutting the wire, we're just splicing it.
Yes.
So the reason why we're doing it this way is that if you ever decide to sell the car one day and you want to sell the car with the original stereo, there's no cutting of wires. You just unplug the adapter, unplug that, and plug in your original radio. No harm done.
Okay.
Okay, so bring it back over with the ignition wire. Okay, once we've connected up there, we're obviously checking it again that we've got power.
Okay, and that would be putting on the lights.
Put on the lights. Okay, see we still got the power. Okay. Now we find our illumination wire again. Okay,
show me that. What is that? Pink, red?
It's normally an orange wire.
Orange.
Yeah, illumination. So the international code for illumination would be an orange wire. Okay, so we're going to connect up the illumination wire. So now we're left with the rear speaker wires, which we're not using on this installation.
Okay.
Then we're left with the rear left, which we're also not using on this installation. Okay. Then we have this is your steering wheel control 1. And
which
which
I don't have. I don't have any steering controls,
yeah,
so we won't be using that.
And then that is obviously your back control, which is your reverse trigger.
Okay.
If we want to fit the camera to the.
Alright. Which obviously, as you guys know, I already have on the rear view mirror.
Yeah, so okay, and that we can cut off because we're not using anything on that. Okay, and that we can cut out because we're not using anything on that.
What was that?
This is because it's a universal plug. You get some cars which have the RCA inputs, and sorry, not the RCA inputs, the auxiliary input, which that would plug into your normal RCA, which would plug into your normal radio auxiliary input here.
Okay.
Okay, so that would normally plug into that, but this car doesn't have it. It's been blanked off.
Okay.
Okay, so
perfect.
On this particular installation, we're not using it.
Okay.
Although we're trying to fit an aftermarket radio, we're still trying to keep everything as original as possible. Okay. I would just cut them the wires we're not going to use. We're going to obviously tape them up. This is very important because we don't want the wires to touch together. So we'll just tape them all the way up so that they don't touch. Because the last thing we want to do is,
Have a short.
put everything in it, and we've got the car shorting out or the radio shorting out for something that takes us a couple of seconds, so we can prevent that. Before we're going to loom up everything, we're going to basically just test the radio to check. So
okay,
that's a plug. It can the plug can only go one way in. Okay, and there we go. So now we need power on the ignition. Okay, the ignition is on. All right. So now we've got power.
Okay, so there you guys see, as I turned off the ignition, the screen died out. My ignition is now on one click, and you'll see the Android system starting up shortly after.
I don't get any sound. Okay, give me your flash drive.
Damn it.
So which means that we are going to have to
Hardwire in.
We're going to have to get another amplifier, because also we're going to have to get an amplifier from there, or two amplifiers, which you're going to have to run then an RCA lead, because obviously that's a high level out. So most of these amplifiers will accept a high level out, but this is obviously not. And we have got power to the amp, so we've got signal gain to that amplifier, and we've got the amplifier's remote, and we're still not getting any power to the amplifier, so the amplifier is not switching on, or it's not designed to work with the system.
Okay. Hey guys, so I'm going to show you how I solved my issue of my amplifier not wanting to switch on with my aftermarket radio. To do that, and to do it cost efficiently, I had to wire in my OEM radio to switch on my amplifier, what that essentially means is that you will need the power source, which is this one here at the back. You'll need the neutral in front, you'll need an accessory, which is the second black one, and you'll need the amplifier trigger switch. How to get to these wires or their location is the bracket that fits in here, or the fitting that fits into the radio, which is wired into the loom, which is the one we spliced into. You correspond where the power source, the neutral, the accessory, and the trigger switch for the amp is located on this assembly, and you correspond it with the pins. You count the pins and where it is located, you wire it in, and you connect it to each individual pin. It's not difficult to do, guys. It is a really easy installation. Only things that you should consider is that your volume works from here as well as on your aftermarket radio. So what that actually means is that every time a car switches on and this radio powers on, it starts at the lowest volume setting for this radio. and then you need to turn it up to get more volume, and you can't just turn it up on your aftermarket radio. I need to turn it up here, like you can see I'm turning it down now. That's usually where it starts. So when I power up, you can see I'm almost maxed out, but my sound isn't that loud. So you need to also turn it up on the OEM radio as well as the aftermarket radio, and then this will work as a power source cutout as well. So you can engage or disengage the amp, which is the other downfall. Those are the only two downfalls, and then to hide this. So mine is above my acceleration pedal in the duct, and it sits quite neatly in there once it's strapped in. I took it out to show you guys how I did it. So that's basically it. If you aren't willing to spend the amount of money it would take to install the two amplifiers to power the entire system on its own, or to make it a standalone system, I had to piggyback my OEM radio off of it to power the amplifier, or to switch the amplifier on, so that my aftermarket radio can function as it should. This saved me a lot of money, but you also saw, now I show you the disadvantages, which is the power and the volume control, and then actually hiding this thing so that it's not in your way. I'm sure you can put it under your seat as well, where it's easy to reach. That will also be a very clever place to put it, but the right way is to go with amplifiers. But it would have cost me, you can Google what in your area a nano amplifier would cost. Targa nano amplifiers. You need a 4-channel and you need a mono. So those items are costly on its own. You're going to have to pay another additional cost to get it installed, and that usually comes up to the equivalent of another amplifier. This is a cost-efficient way to do it, to piggyback the system. This is how I got mine right. You can choose how you want to do yours. I'm showing you guys how to do it cheaply and cost efficiently, and I will eventually upgrade to the amplifiers once I have the funds to do so, or once it becomes a problem. Which comes first is how I will deal with the situation. Guys, on that note, it was quite lengthy, but it went step by step on how to install your aftermarket radio, and showing you exactly what the functions of each wire is. And if my channel is for you and it sparks your interest, feel free to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, give me a like, leave me a comment on what you would like to see, and stuff that you might have figured out that I didn't cover, and I will try to correct those things, and I will always come back to your comment. I'll leave you a like if it's additional info. If you ask me a question, I will respond on it swiftly.